My name is Insane Raven, and today on IO Reviews, I am reviewing Unforgettable. Don't know really where to start with this movie. I'll start out with saying it's good. It's entertaining. It's really intense. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I don't know, this movie is just it's not an awkward movie per se, but it's definitely just weird to kind of just jump in on. The movie takes place in this time span of a year. Doesn't do a good time of explaining that it's like how much time is passing between, but then again, if you're having like fucking a little time card at the bottom of each frame, you might go insane too. So I might just not have been paying attention to that specifically, and I'll give myself that because there's a lot going on in this film. For instance, the movie starts out in an interrogation room, and this is actually one of the movie's greatest weaknesses. I'm not gonna go too much into it right now because the opening scene really just kind of spoils the entire movie for you. I wanted to go see this movie with a couple of other people, and after the credits rolled and we kind of hung out in the parking lot of the movie theater, we wanted to kind of talk about it for a little bit. And I kind of just listened to what everyone else was saying and kind of taking part in the conversation, but really just adding commentary on there. It got brought up how much of a disappointment that first scene was. That it too clearly painted an antagonist. And when you have a movie like this, it's very based off of this, I don't know who to trust. I don't know if what I'm seeing right now is true. Painting the antagonist just so clearly in the first couple of scenes almost erases the amount of tension that the movie could have had almost completely. Now, that being said, the movie is anything but a dull movie. The movie is an intense roller coaster of, are you kidding me? Almost from beginning to end. But there really isn't a moment in the movie where it's like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe what I'm seeing isn't what's actually happening. Even though the movie tries to kind of convey that thought of maybe you shouldn't trust everything that you're seeing, but it just doesn't stick it well because of that opening scene. The movie, I say, is a very clearly goes with the tropes that are associated with, you know, these suspense thriller type movies of like the simple people, the simple plots. Someone is insane and there's so much more going on than you can imagine type feel, and then it kind of destroys it. A lot of these movies don't spend a lot of time with your antagonist, and yet this film spends not an obscene amount of time, but enough time that you understand why your antagonist is doing all of this and where she kind of comes from. And I gotta say, it definitely humanizes this totally insane person. You get to know bits and pieces of her backstory, and you can automatically, and the ending leaves it very open for a possible sequel if they did in fact choose to go there, and with it being Hollywood, they probably will try it. I don't think it should happen, but it's probably going to be attempted. And it's an interesting movie. Like, I found myself kind of just sitting in my chair saying, okay, this is as far as they're going to go, and then I'm proven wrong. And I really did like that aspect of it, of okay, that's kind of intense, but surely it's not going to escalate from there Surely that's it. Surely that's it. Oh, we're still going. I apparently know nothing, and that's really when the movie comes in its strongest suit. When it is just being like, no, we're gonna go further. There are definitely places in the movie where I almost wish that they would call it quits.
Solid copy. Flight of 3 Scorchers. Ordnance to follow.
But just the fact that they don't makes me like the movie a little bit more. Typically, suspense thrillers are very cheesy to me. And just the fact that it wasn't cheesy, that it didn't give off this, oh, spooky type vibe, and I actually went for something that is kind of horrifying. I thought was really impressive. The characters make sense in motivation and stuff that's happening, even though a large part of the movie could have been avoided if someone just said something. Julia's main flaw is that she doesn't talk a lot of the times. There's a good part of the storyline is kind of hinged on the fact that Julia's, the main character's past is kind of coming back to bite her in the ass, and it's causing all these other doubts to kind of have ground. And just the fact that all of it, really, most of it, I won't say all of it, because people would be crazy, could have been avoided had she just opened her mouth and said, hey, we're getting married, you need to know this about me. Because that's where this movie starts. The movie starts with, hey, we're getting married. Is everyone going to be okay with that? And there's just so much that logically should have been brought up before. And the fact that it wasn't doesn't make sense with how smart and how careful all the other details of this movie are kind of laid out and planned out. So let's talk about the ending. Okay, I'm gonna give you a little spoiler alerts. If you don't want to see the end, the words are hard. If you don't want to have the ending spoiled for you, I do suggest you kind of take your cue now and call it a good day. Like, comment, subscribe if you liked what I saw. If you do see the movie, come back and watch it here and watch the review. See if you thought I was wrong. Finish the video. Moving on. I gave you 20 seconds. Okay. So the movie ends with Tessa and Julia facing off, and Tess kind of looking in the mirror, looking in a window and seeing her reflection and kind of seeing what she's become. She sees the monster she has created. She sees the pain that she's caused on her daughter and all these other things, and she kills herself. She throws herself onto the blade. That's the only real thing that's being used to defend anyone at this point. And she says, "Don't let Lily, her child, see what I've become. Don't let her see me." And for a movie that's created this vicious and insane character of Tessa, almost to the point of making her very reminiscent of Iago in a way from Othello. I just recently saw Othello, so that's why I'm making this comparison. Of being so sweet and being so kind community-wise, and then being just vicious to those she deems an enemy. It was fascinating to see this character have a turn of heart, because this character, by all means, should not have had a turn of hearts. It doesn't really make sense. Yet, somehow with how it's done, I'm not against it. Well, it doesn't quite fit in to where everything else was going, and I really do wish they would have stuck with the no, she is insane. Everything she's done this is a character beyond saving. I wish they would have stuck with that, but I do understand why in the end they decided not to. It makes sense not to, because otherwise you kind of start fearing of the daughter. You know, you have this scenario where, for all intents and purposes, the mother is a psychotic murderer, which he is. But I feel like there are better ways of saying that, I guess. You have this character who, like, if the sequel comes and it's what they've kind of lined up with the ending, you kind of have to start looking at the daughter in a new light of, are you going to be a threat? Do you kind of carry the same insanity? The ending doesn't really, and maybe I'm putting way too much pressure on the daughter, which I'll give you that. That's a fair statement, because the ending of Unforgettable sticks with the mother of Tess's mother, goes to the grandmother of Lily, and just knowing that she was a very large part of the reason why Tess is the way she is horrifying. Knowing that potentially in the next film you're dealing with the one that made this movie's monster is bone chilling. And I loved it. There was this moment where she comes on screen and my first thought was, oh fuck. Followed by, am I gonna have to kill you too? Is that where this goes? Am I going to have to kill you too? But I don't know. I'm very interested to see if a sequel does get made or if we're just gonna kind of leave it there. I am interested in seeing what the general population will think of the movie. I did feel that because of the timing of when the movie got released, the genre of the movie, it could have very easily been generic suspense thriller movie. And I'm proud that they didn't go that way. I'm proud that they, I don't know why I'm saying I'm proud that it had something to do with the project, but I was pleasantly surprised that they decided to spend so much time on their antagonist. That they gave reason and backstories into why some truly fucked up shit was going on. And I gotta give it to them. I will. This being said, that, like I said in the beginning of this video, this movie is not a phenomenal movie. It is not an unforgettable movie. It is a movie that you'll see, you'll enjoy, and that'll really be it. There won't be anything more to it, and it's not going to be something that gets marked in the year's best movies. But it is definitely a movie that, for when the movie came out of this time, it's definitely a movie you should look for if you're going to go to the movies. I enjoyed it, and I hope you guys do too, for just the storytelling, just for the ideas it tries to pull through, even if it completely blunders a lot of them. And I do mean a lot of them in the opening scenes, if you're paying attention. Other than that, I don't have a lot to really add. And that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys saw Unforgettable, let me know in the comment section down below. If you've already forgotten it, if you enjoyed it, let me know. And let me know what you want me to see in my next review video. Other than that, my name is Van Raven, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.